just today, as I'm recording this, 11 March 2024, it was updated to Unity 2021. So the CEO James wanted to have a town hall meeting, and here we are. We are not many, but here we are.
The reason why is your avatar
Pre-alpha Utopia. What is Utopia VR? Welcome to the Infinite Tower, also known as the Allspace Campfire. This is the center of. This is where you start when you log into Utopia VR. So, what is Utopia VR? Utopia VR has 2 points to it. One is you can upload world through Unity or with the in-game kit building system, and you can, just like in Allspace, you can showcase your worlds. You can showcase your worlds, do events to them, whatever you want. Or secondly, there is a big city you can walk around, where you can, like, similar to Multiverse and Finiverse, where you can buy like apartments and stuff. As of right now, they're trying to figure out the economy, because they don't want people to be able to buy houses close to the spawn point, and then just buy a house, do nothing with it, wait 6 months, and then sell it to somebody else for more money, and then that person will sell it to another person, and so forth, until eventually it's going to be too expensive for the common person to buy the house. Hyperinflation or speculation. That's not what they want. They're trying to figure out the way how to do the economy. So basically, if this pillar here is the tower, the thing we're standing in right now, or just around it, there are gardens, and the gardens all have bridges going outwards, and on the end of the bridge you will go to the city. And the point of this is, Utopia VR wants to be like real life. So when you go to a garden, to access the gardens, by the way, you go through the doors you see around you. When you go to like a garden over here, you can walk from this garden to that garden to that garden. So once you go to a garden outside, you can actually walk around the tower like you would in real life.
Yeah, I understand. Because it is a city, and we do want people to be able to literally walk down the street to a building and then walk through the door and then be teleported where they want to go. The streets and everything will be being named. There will be signposts and everything like that, so people can go, wow. Oh, it's in Berkeley Street or something like that. I want to go to the event centres in Berkeley Street, which is in Section 5. Okay, so they'll walk out down the bridge to Section 5. You can walk around. You can walk to Berkeley Street. We can walk down to the centre. And you can walk through the doors.
So it's going to be a real.
And things like that. So we can eventually what we'll be able to do is say, okay, there's an event on. Say, for example, in S5, there's an event, 2 event centres. I want to go to the one that's in Berkeley Street, for example. That one's going to be doing a certain thing I want to go to. Yeah. So you can walk out to the city along S5. You can stand outside the event centre while you're waiting for the time to clock down to actually get in. Yeah. So you can stand outside like you would in real life. You can talk to your friends. You can interact with other people and stuff like that. You can maybe look down the strip at other stuff. Yeah. And then when, the time's right, you can walk through those doors and straight into that event centre like you would in real life. The idea is to keep continuity of real life as close to the virtual experience as we can get it.
I love that.
So we need to be able to have everything that you have in real life. Yeah. We have to be able to effect it in here in as close or better way that we can.
Something that you don't really have in these kinds of things, where you can have a group of people come in. You can't have like a street parade. There's kiosks on the side. You can't normally have that anywhere, because everybody ends up in a different space as they move throughout the space. So yeah, that's pretty cool that you guys might be able to do something out here in the shared spaces.
Like they anchor that down.
That's basically what the city is going to be, is giant shared spaces for everyone to commute and interact. Like for example, did you ever go over into Outspace at all?
Oh yeah, I was there for a couple of years. Yeah.
Okay. So you understand when I say campfire then was the main communal space?
I do.
Okay. So our city is going to be basically the campfire, the whole city. So you'll be able to have access to walk around the city, interact with absolutely everyone that's walking around. They're walking into whatever buildings they're going to go off and experiment and check whatever's here, there and everywhere. But the city is going to be the campfire. So we will need signage and everything everywhere to say which section you're in, which street you're in, and things
Right.
like that. And we might even hold some competitions for that, James. Name streets and stuff like that, which we can,
Yeah.
give little prizes for and things like that.
Scavenger hunts and that kind of
So
stuff.
you actually get your
Mhm.
name on that you chose on one of the streets and things like that. And we might do things like that in the future. But at the moment, we just need to start getting things built out, and then we can say,
Cool.
okay, well, now we need street names and stuff like that for things. But the whole thing of Utopia is to keep it as close to what would be real life as possible. So the whole
Yeah.
city has to be our campfire, our melting pot. So people can go out to this quarter, they can go out to that quarter, they can go out to whichever part they want, interact with different people. And the thing being, campfire was basically a melting pot for everyone of every thought, of every sort completely.
Yep.
By
Agreed.
having the city in different sections, we can have different cultural centers. So we
Yeah.
might have like a Chinese cultural center, or we might
Yes.
have like a high tech
Little
area.
Italy.
So
Yeah.
people that like that sort of thing are going to gravitate there.
Mhm.
So if you want to talk to like-minded people, you would go to that spot.
Right.
So you'll be able to go to that part of the city and find other people that are interested in the same things as you.
That's
And
cool.
in that way, it's helping people to open and break down the boundaries of communication between people simply by saying, hey, I'm in this area, therefore I must like this sort of thing, because
Right.
otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Right.
And because of that, you'll have like-minded people that will be able to then communicate and talk, and they'll be, oh, well, I like this sort of stuff. And if you're in the gaming area, it'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm really into gaming. I like
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
sorts of
Yeah.
games. How about you? Oh, I like this. And it
That's so
starts
exciting.
That's actually really
conversations
cool.
and friendships much closer and quickly that way, and helping to break down those barriers for people so that we can build a really strong community again, like we had in Outspace. And I go Outspace.
Go in here and you walk through that portal. You're gonna go to the next garden. So
Mhm.
walk right on in.
Yeah, we did this earlier when we were lost.
Where do we
Also,
walk?
just walking under this as a portal.
Just through the
Yep.
archway, just through the gateway. So
Oh,
if you walk into the next garden.
so this is how you walk between worlds. You
Yep.
walk like this, and you go to next. So you can also walk between your worlds, so long your worlds are in the same universe. So a universe is just a folder. So let's say you have universe 1 and universe 2. Then you can walk between all your worlds in universe 1, but you cannot walk from universe 1 to universe 2. So you walk through all your worlds to universe 1, then you teleport to universe 2, and universe 2 you can walk between all your worlds. And to find other people's universes, there will be a mapping system. Here you can see one of the gardens, and then, as I told you, in the distance there are like bridges, and if you walk to the other end of the bridge, you will actually get to the city. And just like in real life, you won't teleport from point A to point B. So you start at the bridge here, and to get to the other end, you have to physically walk like this. You have to physically walk to the other end. How does the city look like? So once you cross the bridge and get to the city, it looks like this. Keep in mind, some buildings might be removed once it's released to the public. And you can see there, over there we have the Utopia Arena. We will have games there, I think. There's an area where you can have events. A lot of these buildings you can rent, different floors. So yeah, you can decide if you want to go that way, or that way. So let's go to the Utopia Arena. I'm just curious to see if we can enter it. Hello. And here we have another user. So yeah, here you can see the big city, and the plan is you will have street names, and you can walk like in real life, any direction you want, walk inside the buildings, different floors in each building. And then, as I said before, one area will be for events, one area will be for games, one area for something else. A lot of these like apartment complexes up here, you can rent apartments. All the buildings will be standing, some will be changed, some will be removed, and so forth, once it's released to the public. But as of right now, this is how it looks. So this building over here, for example, I think that's going to be the event building. So in here you can see events. You can also again access events, see your menu system, see events here. Or you can just physically walk inside and see events. So the aim again is to make it feel like real life. So there is loading screens in parts like over there and so forth, but you just walk like this, you load a bit and you keep walking. Yeah. to make it feel like real life. But yeah, this is the city of Utopia VR.
This here is the main tower structure that you were just in that contains the 9 gardens around the base. So that's the main lobby that's there. When you're in the main lobby and we've got it all re-uploaded and everything, you can travel up inside it via the elevator, and we have various floors mapped out for people, including the penthouse at the top. We have condos, 2 different sets of condos we have in there. We have offices, executive offices on lots and lots of multiple floors all the way up, going up and down the tower all the way to the top. There's 150 floors, JD? 100 floors in total. Yeah, so we have at the moment like a basic map plan that we've done for sort of each floor, rather than having like multiple floors the same. And then as we decorate out the other ones, those ones will become available for people to go to and stuff. But yeah, at the moment there's 2 different sets of condos, there's a set of offices, and there's the main penthouse at the top, I believe, at the moment. And then there's obviously the lobby at the bottom. But there's much more planned for that hasn't been included as yet, but that will be as we build it out as we go further in the future.
The arena will be back over here.
Yeah, there's a new plan for an arena.
We're replacing that. Mark's got the blueprints for it laid out right now.
It's cool.
But yeah, it's a nice building, and we're probably going to use this elsewhere. But the structure going to be replacing it. I think it's more like I'd call it more like a hive, I think.
Yeah. I've not actually seen it
but...
as yet. I've not actually seen it as yet, but I'm sure it'll look pretty cool when it's in.
The menu system. But yeah, the Infinite Tower again, we're standing in, the cities is here, Utopian Worlds. So you click Utopian Worlds, you can see. You click on here, and then you can search worlds here, or you can go to top voted, and you click on one. So you click again on top voted, an example here, you can scroll down, different worlds here, pick what you want, that's good. Or you go to categories, you can say what you want, bar, dream, fantasy, you know. Hangouts, let's say I want meeting place. You click on meeting place, here is more worlds. So a few people have already uploaded a lot of worlds. You don't have to use the picture here. You also have it on your watch. You just click on here, and you have the same thing here, you know. Here's events, for example. You can host events. You click on all here. Here's one event you can see happening soon. There's not more events because, again, this platform is invite only and server costs. So right now we don't want 1 million people here. But eventually it's, you know, once we get an economy going and manage to monetize some stuff, and we have the money for the server, we can offer more free stuff to the public. That's how it goes. So yeah, we have an event tab, your titles is your games, help section, you can see right, we can do it here. No, wait, let's go back again. So help doesn't work right now, but they will help you. Here's your friends. You can friend request. It works right now. Utopia VR features.
This is like slow.
If you're slow, go to your menu system, click on fly, pick up the cylinder, and you can.
I can get you where I'm at least.
It's just a cylinder, yeah. Remember I said I needed a hand rocket the other day in chat?
Should we try to log
It's 'cause
out?
I
Alright,
needed it
I'll
for
get
that
that
thing.
sorted, because I'll get you the particle effect for the
Remember I
back
showed
end.
you a picture of kind of what I
That's
wanted it to
bad.
look like.
What
No,
we
it's
need
because
is the
I still
fireworks
got
of
when you
Allspace.
came in,
Like these
you know.
fireworks, I could, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, I really want to
If
rebuild
you
those
look
down.
down,
It's one of the things I do want to rebuild.
What was it? Blue with red on top, I think it was. With the sticks.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I
remember
see
the
them
colors.
too,
I do
white
have a video of
circles.
it, so I can look at
Red
it.
and blue, the rockets
Oh,
were in
So
outspace.
when I look down, I got
And you
these
could
black
have two, and you
circles
could be
about
like-
waist height.
Yeah.
And I just
Yeah.
press
Yeah,
the
those are
small-
good.
Speak to people, why? Because while you're loading, we will all stand here and you can speak to each other. That's a quite cool feature. You know, in Allspace, you just had a blue screen. Here we can actually come together and
Or
speak
maybe the
while we're
night's
loading.
not creepy.
And you can see there,
See
we can
rainbow.
actually speak in the loading screen. It's
Skybox,
quite
yeah.
amazing. It's a cool feature.
And I'm doing that.
So when you teleport, if you hold a teleport to the floor, a light will show up.
I'm trying
And
to
I
figure
can
out
see
why
you
it's
guys in
green and
white.
Nobody else is. That's weird.
No.
Yeah, I'm just going by the name
So the
tags,
teleport
that's all
thing
I
is
can
like a
tell where you
flashlight.
guys are.
2 in 1.
Yeah, that works.
Interesting.
And
That's
I
a flashlight.
definitely
Do
need to
not
click the
teleport
button
me, I
called
don't
real-
like that needs
inside.
work.
You see? Another same color as the floor.
We
Now
need
they're
proper
white.
particles on that.
Install the APK.
Another feature
Yep,
of
it is.
Utopia.
See. When you go in the apartment, right? You said you could go on different floors. Will your perspective change when you're in there? If you need to get that
Yes.
done with your
Yes.
kids, I don't want
It does.
Yeah, they're going to be doing
So
it
the
because it's
higher up
that
you
kind of-
go, you'll look
that you-
out and
you-
see
the-
higher above.
you'll see higher up. Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
But what's unique in Utopia is that we decided to take the idea out and change it so that people actually felt more interactive with the buildings that they're in. So that we
Right.
have built the skyboxes in such a way that when you're going up in the buildings, you see that difference in perspective. So that it's not just, why do I still look like I'm on the ground when I'm 100 foot in the air? No, we don't want
Right.
that. We want the building to be so that when you're in it, you get that constant perspective of going up higher and higher and higher, even to the
Right.
point where you actually go up and you can look at it and you start to feel a bit sick because you realize,
Yeah.
you're now 100 foot up in the air as opposed to like 50 or
Right.
20 feet up.
No, that's awesome.
But that
So I figured out how to run. Well, Nikita
Yeah.
told
Trying to
me how to
figure out
run.
what to do. Yeah, press down the.
You push it and then you push it in and push it forward.
Did we lose
Oh, you
somebody?
can run.
Here they come.
The future of Utopia VR and more information with questions.
Basically, what we're trying to build is what the original ideal of a metaverse is. The original ideal of a metaverse is actually a digital environment, kind of like Tron, where you live. You're actually living in that environment, not just jumping to floating worlds that are out there, but you're actually can live in that environment. So what we're doing is we're building an actual fully functional VR city. Warren is Sarah Fish is the architect of it. He's an actual architect in real life, and he literally draws it all out and then extrudes it, and then Hypno and Sweetest and Hazel's joined the team now. She's going to be helping us build some stuff, and and then Kip VR has built a couple of things for us, and we're just building out the whole city as we go. I know exactly why none of the other metaverses do this, because it's a pain in the butt to track
Oh,
all
yeah.
the different worlds. Like even the utopian worlds that you guys put in that just for you are tracked. So eventually when I'm going to have it, you can like hop to each one of your worlds, and then you can hop to each one of your, well, we call them lands. And then you hop to each one of your other worlds that are hooked to all your other lands, and you go through your whole universe. So people can literally travel from the beginning of the Infinite Tower all the way through the whole metaverse and be able to see everything by just traveling. So you don't have to like just search like, oh, what world do I go to? You can literally go, I'm just going to go to section 10 and walk through section 10 and see all types of sites that you may never have seen. So everything's linked, which is been a real pain in the butt for us in the city builder team, because we have to make sure that we build everything with that knowledge that we have to know this has to match with this, and how do we make it look like we're walking into the worlds and all that kind of stuff. The other thing is we are bringing a bunch of features back from AltSpace. This event system literally was based off of the AltSpace event system. Me and the coders are like going to rewrite the whole networking system this next couple of weeks, and we're going to try to get it where we can do the multi-room thing and have like the host be in every one of the rooms, and all that kind of stuff is one of our next things that we're trying to work on. I do have a web projector. It was working last summer. I was going to announce it in December, and then Meta changed all their rules, so we had to like rebuild the whole app into 2021. And now my web projector is set to a couple months before I can bring it back into 2021. We also have games that we used to have in here that we're going to slowly be bringing back in. Is that JD? Yep, he's back. We're actually gamifying the metaverse. One of the things is Avatar Life, which basically is kind of like Sims Life and Second Life smashed together, but then throwing a little bit of Ready Player Me in it. You'll be able to have your own homes, your own apartments, your own cars, your own airplanes, your own helicopters. You can own an actual electrical company for that part of the metaverse, or the city for that matter. And then basically you just grow it up and you work together as a team. That comes from a game that me and JD were working on about 15 years ago. It's called Realms of Creation, where you have to have a lord and a farmer and a tradesman, and you can have multiple of them, but they all have to work together to create a society before you're allowed to go out and venture out into the rest of the world and conquer lands and, trade routes and all that kind of stuff. So we literally were working on that when we decided to come back to VR. And so that we added that into Utopia as a way to, one, everybody knows that people like metaverses cost money. One of the reasons why AltSpace eventually closed down was because the original owners couldn't afford to keep it up. That's why they had to sell to Microsoft. We don't want to have that happen here. So we're trying to find ways to gamify stuff and then have that help support keeping us going. Right now, we do have a Patreon for people to help us to help pay for the servers, because right now the server money comes right out of this guy. I literally pay all the server money. We don't have any investors. We do have small investors, but we don't have any big investors. We don't sell your data to big tech like Meta does. We didn't go out and risk one of our other companies we own and tell Google that, yeah, we're going to build a metaverse for $8 million. We're not, right now we're talking to investors, but we have not sold out to any of them because we're like, don't want nobody to screw with our plans and ideas. Because me and JD have been dreaming about building this thing for over 30 years. We really want to build it the way we want to build it. We don't want somebody come in and go like, no, cut that corner, cut this corner, cut this corner. You don't need that. You don't need that. We want that because we're building because we actually want it. That's one of the things about, you'll see me in all the metaverses. Like last night, I was in VR Chat and Horizon Worlds. I was with the cadets jumping around with them guys. So I used to be in AltSpace. I was in AltSpace since 2017. I knew Deji Shaw when she made her first world. So our whole community is all VR people. Like Hypno is one of our world builders. She's from AltSpace. Sarah Fishes was from Horizon Worlds, and he's our lead architect. G-Deuce is both from AltSpace and Horizon World. I thought she was just from Horizon World. I didn't know she was from both.
No, she's ex-Altspacer.
Yeah. She's back. I thought you left.
No, I heard you starting, so I said, well, let me just stay, because I don't want to miss anything. So.
All right. G-Juice and Slater are both, we call them the tour guides. They volunteer to help give the newbies that come in tours, so I don't have to do all of them. I'd love to do them all, but I got a code. So I can't do all of them. Literally, I was going to be teaching her and Slater and Atissa how to travel around the city and stuff like that, which we'll probably do here in a little bit since we have such a small group of people right now. We are going to be adding all types of features where you yourself can take our tools and make your own games as well. So that way you can add them to your worlds. We do have a URL video player, a YouTube player, and then we're streaming the radio station for that used to be 106.8 in AltSpace. Now it's Mr. Block Party, it's DJ Marcus. Those will be available in our world building kit that we're putting together that you can literally put in your own worlds, resize them, all that kind of stuff. We're going to show you one of those while we're traveling tonight. I was wondering if you might have any questions before I just blabber all night.
It's too early for me to ask anything. I'm probably
Timmy,
at 1,000,
you're very
but
quiet.
nothing yet.
You don't have any questions. It's not like you.
Can your video player
No, I'm just listening.
support
But I will
like a Plex URL?
post questions like
Say that again?
on Instagram.
Okay.
Your video player, it's URL based.
Yeah.
Would it support Plex?
Send me a URL and I'll find out.
Okay.
You got it?
It's usually an we do MP4s
MP4.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, MP4s. The reason why we
So no
don't do
show.
all the ones that VR Chat does because it costs over $900 a year to have that capability.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a pricing thing. Eventually,
That
we'll get to the
actually
point
answered-
where we can get
answered
that
my
thing.
question.
Because
Yeah.
we're MKB, right?
It's not about that. I know how it works. Yeah,
okay.
no, we're good.
What, you understand it? That's good.
I do.
The other thing is, like, I'm the CEO of the company. Where did JD go?
I'm right behind you.
He's behind you.
JD is the vice CEO of the company, and he's also, we're both board members, of course, and owners of the company. You'll see every one of our members there. Actually, we're planning on having a board meeting in our offices here in Utopia here soon, because everybody in our company is part of the VR community. in one way or another, they're a part of it. Some of them were
Just lost
big
Julius.
time MMO gamers, but now they're into VR. So can't really think about. Let's see. What else can we talk about? As you see, we put flight in. It used to be only for the admins. Now we put it in for everybody. We're probably going to end up restricting it eventually, so that way only the world builders can tell you if you're allowed to fly in their zones and stuff, because some people don't want that. Like
Well, there
Bruno's
are some
Forest.
worlds that it ruins it if you can fly. I mean, you're not meant to fly outside and see the outside of a building if the outside hasn't been constructed, only the inside. So those worlds need to be flat off.
Yeah,
Makes
so
sense.
we'll eventually turn on a control to stop that for the world builders. Just like Bruno's Forest, we literally have a mountain climbing thing that one of my coders made. A lot of people like that world, which I think it's funny because he's like, I don't even know how to make designs and I don't know how to do none of this stuff. We just did it, threw it in there for a test, and everybody loves hanging out in that world. I literally just ported it over to 2021 yesterday because I couldn't live without having it in the world. It doesn't have the climbing ports yet. I have to add all the code for that because I basically had to rebuild the whole rig, which is one of the things we're doing right now is we're actually kind of testing it because the more people we have in the world, the better we can test things and see if things go hunky.
Case in point, grey avatars at the moment.
Yeah. Well, that's actually Ready Player Me because I literally looked that up. They said that some people will have problems with having Ghost when they load because it's a loading time because everybody's loading at the same time. It's from their own website that causes the problem. What I need to do is put a button on the mini map where you can like click it and like have it reload your avatar just if you need it to, which is not really hard for me to do. I can do that pretty fast actually. Might even do that tomorrow. We do have 4 programmers now, and we have 3 what we call our core team of city builders. We do have other ones that do stuff for us like Kip and them, but as you know, Kip and all them guys are really busy, so they can't just keep with us all the time. But they're there trying to help us when they can and stuff like that, which helps out because the more builders we have, the faster we can build the city out, the better it's going to look. Right now, we have a lot of placeholders buildings in there, which they look fine. Sarah Fish has found a lot of them, but they still aren't the look that we wanted for the city. Eventually, the city is going to be filled, hopefully, with people that want to get offices and buildings in there and, rent the space. So that also helps us keep a free tier for everybody to come in and at least be able to go to the events and hang out and do that stuff and then, have features that are add-ons and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's our we have more plans, but some of them I'm not allowed to talk about, because, we haven't built them yet, so we don't want to tell everybody. We're doing all of it, but this metaverse will never stop growing. We'll always be building. Literally, I'm teaching my kids right now to keep on coding after I'm gone, to keep adding the stuff. So we're always on the eye of what's going on out there, what people like, what people don't like. There's literally stuff we didn't add because people hated it. So I'm always available usually. Sometimes I go dark, like when I had to rebuild the whole avatar system and rebuild our rig systems. I was like, I didn't even talk to Hypno and Warren. I used to talk to them on an hourly basis. And then all of a sudden I was like quiet because I was like typing.
All right, so I came up with a question.
Extra Red Bulls
you
on
don't
those
mind.
days.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't drink Red Bulls. I drink Monsters. I used to drink Bang, but you can't get them anymore, so
Give 'em a minute.
I drink Monsters now.
Oh, I can
So,
wait. Hold on.
James, I do have a question. Megiddo.
What's up?
Are you happy the day we
Do
do?
you have your question ready?
Yes. So you talked about this larger, metaverse,
any
this universal city, but then you also discussed worlds. Are you
No.
saying that we're going to
I
have
don't think anyone
worlds
has any
up until a
questions at the
certain
moment,
point,
James.
and then it will all be integrated, or there's still going to be private worlds outside of this metaverse where we all universally live?
Yes.
That's a very good question. Yes, you will have private worlds. So what it is that Utopia VR starts off at the center of the lobby, okay? And then the city comes around it, and then outside the city is sectors of space. So you can pick a sector, then create your own universe, create your own world, and then you have 9 plots of land, we call them, that are basically a world from Alt Space. and you can put them all in there, and they can link so you can walk around all of them. You, as the world developer, can literally put on, this is private, I don't want people to even go to it.
Yeah,
So that it
that's
literally
cool.
blocks them from actually going into those worlds. Same
And
thing
are
with
you going to be
events. When
able
you,
to have events that those users can post on a public board? Like, will it be
Who are you
something?
talking to?
yes,
Okay.
you know, so let's go back to your
Sarah's
question
behind you
again.
laughing.
So yes, you
Sure.
will be able to have your own events in your own worlds, and there will
Can
be
you
an
join
event
them?
thing like that, like the kiosk you saw.
Talking to
We're building
Amy.
onto our website, just like Altspace had,
Yep.
and you'll be able to like peruse everybody's events, what's going on, as well as there's going to be one in the
Is it
main menu
Kurt
too.
Respawn?
Okay.
Did that do it?
Okay. That's cool.
So yeah, we also we're going to go to S5.
Are
Oh,
there
she left.
capacity limits that you
Now
know
there's
of
even
at
less
this point?
people in the
He's right
world.
there
Oh
if
my
you're
God,
looking.
what is
Right
going
now,
on?
right now with our networking
Right, I'm
system,
gonna see if I can
they says
exit
that
and
you can't
rejoin
have
or
more than
something.
50 people in the world
I won't quit. This is just
without it crashing.
Okay.
Although I've actually pushed that, so it's not true. It just counts on
So
how
is
much
that
graphics are going on.
is that per world? Like if 50 people enter into the main metaverse part of it, that I'm assuming that that's what you're talking about for the limit. But if I go into like one of the sectors where I have my own world, then would my limit start from scratch? Would it be 50
Yeah,
within
it'll
there?
start with one and then go up.
Okay.
for something, then you never receive it, or what you receive is
Right.
broken or damaged or doesn't
Right.
work. This way, by doing it all through the application, it basically means that Utopia is the holding point. So
Yeah,
they receive
it's
the
like a
funds
stub
from
hub.
you. Exactly.
It's like
They
StubHub.
receive the
Yeah.
goods from us, then the exchange is made. If there is any sort of problems or anything like that, you have a point of reference. You can go back to it and complain or say, hey, this isn't working.
Yeah.
There's a problem with this. There's a problem
And
with
then
that.
the app can hold them
So
So
accountable.
there's QC
exactly.
on
Whereas
the
in
products
many of the
or
other
what
applications,
the
they
will
simply
builders
don't
put in
have that
here.
point. And because of that, you get lots of irreputable selling. You get people
Of
ripping of
course.
goods and selling them to other
Of
people,
course.
copying
Yep.
other things and selling them while they're not supposed to. By keeping it
Right.
all in the application, it's very much going to be limited. If somebody starts trying to rip other people's stuff and trying to sell it, it'll be very easy to report it and say, hey,
Now,
that's a stolen item. That's
are
a stolen
you
item. This has been
are you
taken or
going
whatever.
so far as to verify or to require any additional information to be a seller? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, are you
We thought about doing
to
a,
avoid multiple
a
accounts and
verification or
people
check
who?
mark thing where you like
Yeah.
these are verified known builders for Utopia that we trust, like a trusted
Right.
group of people or
Or
whatever.
like a rating
We
system.
are going to be creating our own like Hypno, and we'll have our own team that people can rent to through us directly. Especially for like big companies, because that's what we're focusing on, trying to get Pepsi-Cola, Anheuser-Busch actually has been talking to us about coming in and
Nice.
building a factory where you can make a beer or whatever, and
That's awesome.
then you can
I know
take that
someone who
beer and
works
drink it.
So it
Huh?
shows
Cool.
already have 2 trillion infinite.
Don't believe what you hear, believe what you see. Now you have seen the city, the features, the menu system. You get to hear people speaking about Utopia VR and the future of Utopia VR. People ask questions. So I think you get more than enough information to give yourself a general understanding of Utopia VR. Now it's up to you to decide, is Utopia VR worth it or is it not worth it? That is all up to you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.